Welcome to Mike X Apple, and we are here for a news roundup. Yes, it has been a minute, and I'm Mike, by the way. We're going to talk about some of the Apple news that's been going on because it's been craziness for the last few weeks. I've been doing other stuff, but now we got to talk about the news. And of course, we can't talk about the news without talking about a phone that's not even out yet. We don't talk about the phone that's currently out. We talk about the next phone. And of course, that's the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro. There have been some alleged leak photos that show the iPhone 15 Pro with a USB-C port. These were apparently leaked by a user that goes by Redditor Unknowns21 with a Z. But yeah, I couldn't find anything to substantiate this. I mean, I'm assuming right now that the next iPhone probably is going to have USB-C based on the timeline of when they have to comply with the EU. But I don't know if these photos are real, but we'll see if this ends up being real closer to September. There was also a CAD file of the 15 Pro shown with USB-C. So who knows at this point? Again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure how much I believe that this is the actual phone. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to fake because I'm sure next year's phone is probably going to look very similar to the 14. So yeah, take this with a grain of salt. Just like this next rumor about the iPhone 15, not the 15 Pro this time. So there is another rumored photo, but this time it's of the display of the iPhone 15. And you will be surprised to learn that that display leak has the pill cutout like the 14 Pro does. So if the rumor is true, or if this photo is real, then that means that we could be seeing the dynamic island come to the regular iPhone 15, which, yeah, it would be nice if they get all their phones on the same design language. So that would make sense if the iPhone 15 has the island, but I don't know because it's such a new feature if they'll wait another year for maybe the iPhone 16 and then finally unify the designs. But it could confuse users like it did in the past, why all the phones look the same, what's the benefit of getting a Pro, etc., etc. So we'll have to see what they do next year. Again, these are all rumors. Speaking of rumors, I'm getting tired of talking about this VR headset. We just want to see it already. There was a rumor a while back that we were going to see it at some event before WWDC, but now it looks like it's just going to be at WWDC. So according to the new rumors, that's when it's going to be unveiled at WWDC, and Apple is going to launch it sometimes toward the end of the year. Now we have another new rumor from Ming-Chi Kuo saying that the reason that the headset's been delayed is because of software. Apparently they've had some software hookups, and also they're forecasting to ship less units this year. Originally they were supposed to ship 800,000 and now it's going to go down to 500,000. Although there was a speculation, Ming-Chi Kuo didn't say what the software issues they ran into were. But yes, apparently this headset that is apparently a real thing is apparently delayed again. We'll have to see what happens. Again, I take all these rumors for what they are. Rumors are kind of fun to talk about, but we never know what's going to happen. I think there was a week where I reported like the M2 Pro and Max were reportedly delayed, and then like a few days later the MacBooks came out with those chips. So like I said, this is all speculation based on supply chain stuff, sometimes based on nothing. So again, take it as a grain of salt. But you know what's not a rumor, and we can confirm it's true. We know that Windows 11 is officially supported on the M1 and M2 Macs. Kind of. So there's already been a way to run Windows through a VM, but now it's official. Microsoft has a support page saying that you can run the ARM-based Windows 11 on a Mac and a virtual machine. Now, it's not the same as running it natively. Also, this is the ARM-based version of Windows, which doesn't have as broad support as the x86 version of Windows. All of Apple's products run on ARM-based chips, so it makes sense that they would use an ARM-based version of Windows. But the issue with that is ARM-based Windows isn't as widely adopted, so specific drivers might not work unless they've been developed for that version of Windows. Legacy apps like 32-bit apps don't work on that version of Windows, etc., etc. Now, there are other workarounds, like I said, to just run full-fat Windows on an M1 Mac, but this is the officially supported version by Microsoft. They have brought support for ARM-based Windows. Gaming also probably isn't going to be a thing either, so yeah. But at least an official option is here. So if you really need Windows, you can get it now, or your Mac. The final thing I want to talk about is the Mac Pro. So I've been saying forever, how are they going to do this Mac Pro? Like, what's the upgradability going to be like? No one knows anything. We're all in the dark. We're all wondering the same thing. Well, now we have a patent that could hint at where Apple could be going with the Mac Pro. And that patent is to enable the use of PCI-E GPUs that will work in parallel with the integrated GPU on Apple's chips. So we've seen dual GPUs before. It's not anything new. Actually, the industry is technically moving away from it. Like Nvidia pretty much stopped doing it. I don't think AMD is really doing it much anymore. Like on their very high-end cards you can, but generally speaking we don't really see dual GPUs anymore. But in this scenario it would make a lot of sense, especially if you wanted to put something more powerful in the machine, and then it could be set up in a way that maybe certain tasks can take advantage of the big beefy GPU, and then other tasks can run on the more efficient GPU. But these are all based off of patent filings that Apple did recently, and they do a lot of patent filings, so it doesn't necessarily mean it will come to fruition. But of course, if it does, this could also mean that we could see eGPU support again for things like the MacBook. So if you want a more powerful graphics card, you can just plug one in and essentially have even more power than what you have with your built-in GPU. So I hope this is something that Apple can add, not just for the Mac Pro, but for all of their computers. That'd be kind of awesome just to be able to plug a graphics card in there just to get that extra power. I mean, some people might just want a 4090, even if it's pulls more wattage than like 5 MacBook Pros together. They might want that. Just let them have that. So the final thing I want to talk about, I think I said final on the last thing about the Mac Pro, but this is the final thing. So that is the MacBook Air. So there's been a rumor swirling around that we could see a 15-inch MacBook Air. So we got some new details about that rumor as well. And that is basically that it will be coming the second half of this year, and it's going to use an M2 chip. I guess there was a rumor that it could be using the M3, but it's basically just going to be a big version of the current MacBook Air. And I don't know how I feel about it. I think that it's a good move. And when I say I don't know how I feel about it, I'm not talking about the Air. I'm talking about that 13-inch MacBook Pro. If they do this 15-inch MacBook Air, I think it might just be time to get rid of that thing. It just makes no sense. It doesn't fit in the lineup. It runs the same chip as the Air. There's really not much added benefit other than, yes, it can technically do sustained loads better because it has a fan. But I'm wondering if this 15-inch is going to have enough area where it'll be able to effectively cool the M2 to get better performance, or maybe equivalent performance with like a 13-inch MacBook Pro, which again would make that kind of pointless, and they could just get rid of it. I'd rather just have like the 2 MacBook Airs, the 15 and the 13, because that would make sense. You got your smaller one, you got your bigger version of that, and then the 14 and the 16-inch Pros that are way more powerful, and you can spec up to however you want to. You can get super powerful M2 Maxes and everything. That would make more sense for the lineup. I'm just saying, if this comes out, that 13-inch is probably going to die, and I'm waiting for it. I've been waiting for a long time. You can tell they want to get rid of it. They kept the touch bar. They kept the touch bar. That's a sign. They're ready for it to go. They are waiting for it to go. But I'm not waiting anymore. I'm getting out of here. Let me know what you're most excited for from Apple this year. Out of everything that's rumored, I'm talking about the MacBook Air. I'm talking about the Mac Pro. I'm talking about the VR headset. Again, let me know how you feel down below in the comments. You have a great rest of your day. Peace out.